Atmosphere inside the BAFTAs, officially known as the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, was electric as the prestigious ceremony began, celebrating excellence in film and television. Often described as the UK's equivalent of the Oscars, the event is broadcast annually on the BBC and draws some of the biggest names in global entertainment. But what was meant to be a glamorous evening honoring cinematic achievement quickly turned into one of the most talked about and controversial moments of the night when an unexpected outburst stunned the audience and viewers watching from home. As the ceremony got underway, presenters took the stage to kick off the first award of the evening. Among them were Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, co-stars in the film Sinners. The two actors appeared poised and professional as they stepped up to present the award for Best Visual Effects, a category honoring the technical artistry that helps bring some of cinema's most ambitious visions to life. The crowd responded with applause and cheers as the pair greeted the audience, clearly excited to celebrate the craft of filmmaking. Michael began speaking, expressing his delight at presenting the first BAFTA of the night. Standing alongside Delroy, he emphasized the importance of visual effects in modern storytelling, noting how the best work in the category not only creates spectacle, but also enhances character and narrative. Delroy echoed the sentiment, and together they prepared to announce the nominees. The moment felt celebratory and smooth, until it was abruptly disrupted. From within the audience, a voice suddenly shouted a racial slur, leaving the room in shock. The unexpected outburst echoed across the auditorium, momentarily halting the rhythm of the presentation. For viewers at home and attendees in the theater, the word was unmistakable and deeply offensive. The camera did not immediately show the source of the disruption, but the tension in the room was palpable. Gasps could be heard among the crowd. The individual responsible for the outburst was later identified as John Davidson, a man who lives with Tourette syndrome. His life experience with the neurological disorder served as inspiration for the nominated film, I Swear. Tourette syndrome is a condition characterized by involuntary motor and vocal tics, and in some cases, individuals may experience coprolalia, the uncontrollable utterance of socially inappropriate or offensive words. Importantly, these verbal expressions are not intentional and are outside the individual's control. John Davidson reportedly interrupted the ceremony more than once throughout the evening. At one point, another comment from the audience, unrelated to the racial slur, prompted a tense but measured response from the stage. Despite the disruptions, Michael and Delroy maintained their composure. Their professionalism was evident as they continued their presentation without directly addressing the slur in that moment. They remained focused on the task at hand, finishing their remarks and proceeding with the award announcement. According to a source who later spoke to Entertainment Tonight, both actors found the incident jarring and disappointing. The use of such language, regardless of context, understandably struck a chord. However, the source also emphasized that Michael remained in good spirits overall after the ceremony concluded. While the moment was unsettling, he did not allow it to overshadow the entire evening. Backstage, those close to the situation described a complicated mix of emotions. On one hand, the slur itself carried a heavy historical and cultural weight, particularly for Black individuals and communities who have endured generations of racism tied to that word. On the other hand, there was the recognition that Tourette syndrome can produce involuntary outbursts, meaning the intent behind the utterance was not rooted in malice. As the ceremony continued, host Alan Cumming addressed the incident directly from the stage. Speaking calmly and thoughtfully, he explained to the audience that the film I Swear focuses on the experience of a person living with Tourette syndrome. He clarified that the verbal tics heard during the ceremony were involuntary and beyond the control of the individual who has the condition. Alan offered an apology to anyone who felt offended by the language, while also urging understanding regarding the medical nature of the disorder. The explanation was an important moment in the broadcast. It highlighted the delicate balance between acknowledging the harm caused by offensive language and recognizing the medical realities of neurological conditions. Alan's comments were measured, aiming to provide context without dismissing the impact of the word itself. The audience responded with attentive silence, absorbing the explanation as the ceremony moved forward. Soon after, the BBC also released a formal apology. As the official broadcaster of the BAFTAs, the network expressed regret for any offense caused by the language heard during the live telecast. The statement reiterated that the verbal outbursts were involuntary symptoms of Tourette syndrome and not deliberate acts of hate speech. The broadcaster faced criticism from some viewers who felt the incident should have been handled differently, particularly given the sensitive nature of the slur. Among those reacting publicly was Jamie Foxx, who weighed in amid the broader conversation. While details of individual responses varied, the overarching dialogue centered on how live events should address unexpected and offensive language, especially when medical conditions are involved. The incident sparked debate across social media platforms and news outlets, with many expressing empathy for both the actors on stage and the individual with Tourette syndrome. For Michael B. Jordan, the moment represented yet another example of how public figures must navigate unpredictable situations with grace. Throughout his career, he has been vocal about issues of representation and respect within the entertainment industry. As a prominent Black actor and producer, he understands the painful legacy associated with racial slurs. Observers noted that his calm demeanor on stage reflected both professionalism and restraint under pressure. Delroy Lindo, an accomplished actor with decades of experience in film and theater, also demonstrated composure. The two men did not visibly react in anger or confrontation, choosing instead to carry on with their presenting duties. Their response was widely praised as measured and dignified, especially given the circumstances. The film I Swear, inspired by John Davidson, had already brought attention to Tourette syndrome before the ceremony. The project aimed to shed light on the challenges faced by individuals with the condition, including social stigma and misunderstanding. Ironically, the incident at the BAFTAs underscored the very themes the film seeks to explore: how involuntary symptoms can be misinterpreted, and how those living with neurological disorders often find themselves at the center of uncomfortable public moments. Still, the use of a racial slur in any setting carries profound implications. Many viewers expressed that while they understood the medical explanation, hearing the words spoken aloud, especially during a celebratory event honoring artistic achievement, was deeply unsettling. The emotional response to such language cannot be easily dismissed, regardless of intent. In the hours following the ceremony, conversations continued online and in media coverage. Some called for clearer broadcast delay systems during live events to prevent offensive language from airing. Others advocated for greater public education about Tourette syndrome, emphasizing that compassion and awareness are crucial in moments like this. For the BAFTAs themselves, the incident became an unexpected headline overshadowing some of the night's achievements. Award winners and standout speeches risked being eclipsed by the controversy, yet organizers appeared to stand by the on-air explanation, offering no further official statement beyond the apology delivered during the broadcast. Michael B. Jordan, meanwhile, reportedly chose to focus on the positive aspects of the evening. According to sources, he remained upbeat while interacting with peers and celebrating the accomplishments of fellow artists. Those close to him described his mindset as pragmatic, taking things one day at a time and not allowing a single moment to define an entire experience. The incident ultimately serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of live television. Award shows are carefully choreographed productions, but they unfold in real time before millions of viewers. When unexpected events occur, there is little opportunity for editing or revision. The responsibility then falls on hosts, presenters, and broadcasters to respond swiftly and thoughtfully. In this case, the combination of shock, clarification, and apology created a layered response. There was the immediate emotional impact of the slur, the subsequent explanation regarding Tourette syndrome, and the broader societal discussion about race and disability. Each element contributed to a complex narrative that extended far beyond a single shouted word. As the dust settles, the focus may return to the art and artists celebrated that night, yet the conversation sparked by this moment is likely to endure. It highlights the importance of empathy, both towards individuals living with medical conditions and towards communities historically harmed by certain language. Navigating that intersection requires sensitivity, awareness, and open dialogue.
For Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, their composed reaction stands as a testament to professionalism under pressure. For the BAFTAs and the BBC, the incident presents an opportunity to reflect on how live broadcasts can better anticipate and address unforeseen disruptions. And for audiences worldwide, it prompts reflection on the power of words, the realities of neurological disorders, and the responsibility shared by all in fostering understanding. In the end, what began as a celebration of cinematic excellence became a moment of cultural reckoning, one that underscores how deeply interconnected art, identity, and real-world experience truly are.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.